G'day guys, Matt here from Not in the Manual. Today I'm going to try something different and I will be doing a paid promotion or a paid review. I've been sent some products for free to assess and review and basically present it to you guys and give my honest review on it. So that's what I'll be doing today. Now, it's not something I really set out to do with this channel. I wanted to make some technical content and share information about electric cars and just share my knowledge, basically teach you guys things about electric cars, about Tesla. And during those videos I've had a lot of accessories around the car, and people have asked me in the comments, oh, what's that accessory you've got? What's that phone mount? What are those buttons? What are those pedal covers? Where did you get these things from? And yeah, I've always given them feedback, and I never really thought that I'd end up doing product reviews. And so I ended up just doing a couple of product reviews, unpaid, just reviewing some of the accessories I'd bought for the car. And it was received quite well. So I did one on the wheel covers, and most recently I did one on the buttons for your car, the programmable buttons. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with how you guys received that. So I thought, well, look, why? I had a couple of guys ask me in the comments, where's the discount code? Where's the link we can click on the description? And because there was an unpaid review, I didn't have a discount link to give anyone. So I thought, well, maybe I should start doing some paid reviews and give you guys discount links and things so you get some benefit from watching the review. And I get a benefit from the product and reviewing the product, and that sort of leads me on to what I want to do here. This started off with reviewing products that I had bought for the car that I had a need for, that I went out and used my own money to buy. And I'm going to keep that same thing going with this, and only review products that I would be buying myself or that I need, for the car. There's not now just going to be a big outpouring of videos with paid reviews. That's not what I'm doing this for. And I just thought, look, I do have a need for some products, and I may as well get a benefit for you guys and for me. But I thought, look, I'll give it a go and see how it works out, because a lot of other YouTubers are doing these paid reviews, and I don't mind. I think if it's done in a good way, it's not too cringy. And you know me, I'm going to be looking at the technical side of it as well. It's not just, hey, look at this cup holder, or, it's going to have a bit of a technical aspect to it, or I'll try and put a technical aspect to it as well. What I'll be doing today is reviewing a wireless phone charging mount, and it's from a company called Magbak. Now, I get a lot of emails from companies wanting me to review their products. Now, I'd heard of Magbak before. I've watched a couple of other YouTubers in America review their product. I was pretty impressed. I thought, yeah, this looks quite good. They had a nice website. The email they sent me was personalized. They actually used my name. A lot of emails I receive are just like mass emails, mass mailed out, copied and pasted, not very personal. And I've never actually heard of a lot of the products that they've got to sell. And I'm a big impulse buyer on Amazon, so I've seen a lot of brands around. So I wanted to make sure that if I ever did a paid review, that it was a product I'd heard of before, and that it was a product that I actually needed and was looking to buy anyway. So I've been looking at the wireless charging mounts. I don't want something that's going to look really cheap and nasty as well, something that's going to be wobbling and rattling around. I want something that's going to look like it's a part of the car and meant to be there. And I've had a couple of other little phone mounts in the car that you guys have thought looked original. So if I'm looking for an accessory for the car, especially something that's going to be sitting on the dashboard in plain view, I want it to look like it's meant to be there. That even looks like possibly that Tesla had that fitted in the car themselves, and it looks OEM. So I really like the look of this wireless phone charging mount. Now, to get to the reasons why I was looking for a wireless phone charging mount is the wireless charger on this car, it works, but with some of the newer phones, like I've got an iPhone 14 Pro now, and the cameras are massive. So you have your cameras sitting out there and you end up with a big gap here behind the phone. So this phone has a MagSafe mount. I've got a MagSafe cover for it. Now Magbak do a mount that works with MagSafe. They also do their own case that goes on, and we'll have a look at that because they've supplied me with one of their cases as well, which has some stronger magnets and actually holds the phone to the mount a bit stronger. So I was looking for a nice MagSafe phone mount in the car that I can wireless charge with and puts the phone in more of a sort of line of sight view, so that I can use apps like a Better Route Planner or Waze. I know those apps are pretty popular with people, and having the phone down underneath here on the wireless charging mount, actually we might have a look at that and I'll show you what I mean. So this is where your phone sits in the wireless charging cradles in a Tesla. So we have two wireless charging cradles here. They're actually quite neat, but there are some downsides to this wireless charging setup. In a Tesla, we don't have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. So there are some really cool apps that we're missing out being able to look at through the screen and being able to have functionality there. So it'd be nice to mount that phone in a different position, and I've always wanted to sit that up in a different position here where I can see it quite clearly when I'm driving and have that in a safer position. So I like to run a Better Route Planner, but there's also a couple of other apps like Waze, which are great navigation tools for daily driving or long trips in your car. So I've been wanting to come up with a better solution, but I haven't been able to find something. So this wireless charging mount from Magbak that I'm going to be showing you today actually solves a couple of problems. So the first problem was that visibility of the phone down here. It's out of your line of sight, and you're tempted to have a glance down here if you're using apps like a Better Route Planner. So I have wanted to mount that in a better position and be able to charge the phone at the same time. So the issues with charging with these wireless chargers is it gets quite hot down here. There isn't much airflow in this area, and it's got a raised edge around here which makes that even worse. So I can put my hand here, even without the phone. It's quite a warm area in the car. So you have the air coming out of the air vents, comes straight out here. There's not much getting to that point here. So that can get quite warm, especially when you've got a phone wireless charging. So wireless chargers develop a bit of heat during normal operation anyway, because it is inductive charging. Now, if you're not sure what wireless charging is and how it works, I'll just run you through some basics. So wireless charging or inductive charging, the reason it's called inductive charging is because in the back of your phone you have a coil of wire. This white ring isn't the coil of wire, that's some magnets in the back of this case. But in the back of the phone you have a coil of wire, and in the wireless charging pad you have a coil of wire as well. So when this coil is energized with current flow, with voltage and amps, that induces a voltage into the coil in the back of your phone. Now, for that to be an efficient way of working, for that to be most efficient, those coils need to be lined up perfectly, and that's where they will transmit or induce the voltage to the other coil the most efficient. So a MagSafe, when you've heard that term MagSafe, what it is, there are magnets in the back of your phone or your phone case that line those coils of wire up and give you the most efficient charging possible. So with the iPhone 14 into this charging cradle here, those coils aren't lining up very well, so I get very poor charging. I get a lot of excess heat, and if you look up here, I'll put a screenshot of my phone. I'm getting this message every time I drive saying my iPhone is too hot. It's stopped charging until the phone cools down. So there's a couple of issues there. So I've been trying to find an option to put my phone somewhere else in better line of sight. So Magbak have a solution there, which we're going to unbox now and take a look at. Okay, so Magbak sent me two things. They sent me the Magbak wireless charger. Now they have just started, they've just released this right-hand drive version of the wireless charger. Now I've seen a couple of reviews done of these and I was pretty impressed, and yeah, they got in touch with me and let me know that they have their mount for right-hand drive cars, but you could also mount one of these on the left-hand side as well, for a passenger to mount their phone if you like. And I think it would be in a good position for the passenger as well. So yeah, the packaging, straight away, the packaging looks great. They've also sent me a case for my phone. Now, we'll unbox that first and take a look at that. Yeah, it's a great looking case. Feels really good quality. Nice and thick up in the corners here for drop protection, because mostly when you drop it, the phone hits on the corners here and then your screen cracks out from the corner. So yeah, so far it looks quite good. It's got a raised section there to protect my cameras. And then they also improve. So if we compare that to the iPhone case that I've got here, the Apple case, this is the Apple original MagSafe case. They actually, you can see here, they improve on that area there with the magnets. Now it's a little bit thicker than the Apple case, so it should give the screen a bit more protection. The camera section looks like it sticks out a very similar amount. Yeah, all the button sections on the side all look good. So yeah, I'll just fit that to my phone and we can take a look. So we'll insert that in. Yeah, that's quite a neat fit. So yeah, Magbak, you can see they have improved that area with the magnets. So this allows it to be more secure when it's in a MagSafe mount, and also on their Magbak wireless charging mount. And also you can see on the Apple one there is a strip down here of a magnet to give you that rotational alignment as well. So that's something Magbak have improved on too. So yeah, it looks quite good. You can see it's got nice little raised sections there from the screen to give you protection if the phone lands face down. Quite good. It came at a good time, because you can see, if you can see that on the video, but my case cracked. I dropped my phone the other day and the case did its job. The case got damaged, but the phone didn't, and my screen didn't crack. So this actually feels quite nice. It's not as hard as the Apple one. So this should give pretty good fall protection. So yeah, quite impressed with that. What you can also do with the Magbak case is they give you these little mag sticks. So you can stick them onto surfaces to mount your phone, say to a cabinet or to another part of the car you might want to mount your phone to. So you can see these mag sticks line up with the magnets in the back of the phone, and they snap into place, you can see. So they're quite good, very, very strong magnets. So you can see there, if you wanted to just mount this phone, you can see it sits there. You'd stick that mag stick somewhere and the phone would snap into place, and that's going to hold in place very secure. That's actually quite difficult to remove. So that's if you want to mount it somewhere else. I'm just going to be mounting this in the car on the MagSafe mount, and I've got MagSafe chargers at home as well. So that's quite good. Comes with the cleaning pad for your phone. Comes with some extra 3M stickers here. So if you're mounting this stick to a curved surface, you might want to sort of build up the 3M tape at the edges just to make it line up with the curved surfaces a bit. So you can see here they do illustrate that in the instructions. So for more instructions, yeah, you just scan the QR code like most other companies do and get some online instructions. So that looks quite good. I mean, straight away you can tell a good product when you open it up, and the box they take some care in even designing their packaging and how it looks and how it feels, how it opens. They give you that nice little, you can see there is a magnet in there which snaps this closed. I love that little attention to detail with packaging. I think it makes a big difference to the experience of someone opening your product. Okay, so let's have a quick look at the wireless charging mount and what we get there. So straight away, again, we talk about packaging. So you always know when you open up an Apple phone, that vacuum you have in the box, the resistance to it opening, that was designed by Apple to have that feel. They created that on purpose. So I think that experience is nice to have with the product, and it's a sign that it's a good product. So in the box we have a couple of things here. We've got the little instruction manual. So that's just giving you some basic instructions there on mounting it, some basic specifications. So we'll put them aside. You get a spare mounting tape here, and that's good quality 3M. And I always had good luck with the 3M tape, so that's quite nice. And here is the charging mount. So straight away I picked that up and it feels nice and solid. You can see the aluminium back on it. It's not just doesn't feel like a sort of cheap, nasty thing that's going to fall apart. It just feels really good quality. So we've got the 3M tape already secured on there first, so we can just put that mount straight onto the screen of the car. Then we will unbox this, and I've got a measuring tape here. We'll just see how long the cord is. Okay, that cord is 146 centimeters, so it's enough to reach from where it's mounted back down along the dash here and into the power adapter. So that's what's also included. You get an alcohol pad for wiping down the surface that you will be sticking to, and you then have the power socket adapter here. Okay, before we do the install, I just want to talk to you about power. Now, the Magbak wireless charging mount comes with a USB-C plug, which can just plug straight into the USB-C ports in the car, but you're not going to get the fastest charging possible doing it that way. It will still work, but it's going to be a bit slower. I think it still probably would be okay if that's the only option you've got. The USB-C ports in the car are 5 volt, 3 amp, or 15 watts. So you multiply the amps by the voltage, gives you the wattage power. The wireless charging mounts here are that same 15 watts, but only if you can get those coils to line up perfectly, as we discussed earlier. So Magbak supply the charging mount with a power adapter here, which plugs into the power socket in the console, which we'll look at later when we do the install. Now, it can take 12 or 24 volts, between 12 and 24 volts, so you don't need to worry if you've got the 16 volt lithium ion low voltage battery, or if you've got the 12 volt lead acid battery. This will work with both. The output we have here, this is what I want to discuss. So this power adapter, where it is better than the USB-C port in the car, is it's capable of varying the output voltage. So it can be either 5 volt 3 amp, 9 volt 3 amp, which is 27 watts, and 12 volt 2.25. So this is capable of outputting a lot more. Now this will just vary that output depending on the power demand. So that's going to be capable of a lot more power than the standard USB-C ports. So the mount itself has two charging modes here. So we have 5 volt 2 amp, which is 10 watts. And so that's going to be the majority of your charging will be 10 watts, which sounds less, but it can vary. It can then demand 9 volts, 1.8 amps from the power adapter and charge at a higher rate of 16 watts. Now remember, with this mount, we are lining up those coils perfectly. So we're already getting some efficient charging. We're getting some nice airflow around the phone as well. So I'm hoping this mount is going to solve a few problems for me. So what we're going to do now is get into the install and just test the mount out and see how it looks. All right, so this is the mount, and it's going to go in this position here. And you can see that there. We'll just do this bit of a dry run. It's quite a nice, neat, tidy fit there, and that's going to be nice and secure. But we need to prep the surface first. So we will get the alcohol pad. Give this back edge a bit of a wipe everywhere that the tape needs to make contact. Just give it a really good wipe over there. Just make sure it's free from any dirt and dust. And I will just give it a quick little wipe and dry with my microfiber cloth. And that should be ready to go. So what we need to do is just peel off the tape, and then we're ready to mount. And what we want to do is put it with the top corner in here first, and then swivel that around. So until you've actually pressed down and held it, you can reposition it like that. So we'll just make sure that that is locating right into that corner. All right, that's in position there. Once you're happy with how that looks, you can see that's sitting where it should, nice and flat. Then we need to hold some pressure down on that. Keep pressing. Just hold pressure down there for around a minute. This 3M tape's pretty good. Just want to make sure there's no trapped air bubbles and that surface is in pretty good contact. Feels pretty solid. And you can see down there that that gap is all pretty even. There's no large gaps here at the back. And then, yeah, I'll just keep holding pressure on there for another minute. What we need to do now is take care of this cable and tuck that away where it needs to live. So we just straighten that out a bit here. And we've got two different ways of routing this cable through the dash. So we'll reposition the cameras and I will just show you the couple of different options you have. Okay, the first way of tucking the cable in is just to feed it in with your fingers here, just lightly pushing in to the gap between the dash there. And then you can start just tucking it in under this dash trim here with your fingers. You can see that staying securely there. And then just run your fingers along until you get to this point here, next to your driver's seat. Then you can feed the cable across. Now I've already plugged in the power adapter here into the 12-volt socket. And then we can just plug in there and close the console. So this is a bit of a temporary setup. What I'm going to do now is show you a little bit more of a permanent setup. Okay, further to that rough install, what you can do is run the cable through the backside of this little trim here. So what you can unclip that with your hands and clip your way along here, or you can use one of these trim tools and stick it down in the gap there and lever it open. What you could do is then just feed the wire up through that trim and clip it back on, or if you want to be super neat with the other end, what we're going to do is take this whole dash trim section out. So if we keep unclipping, work our way along, just be super careful, don't force it too hard, and then do the same with the other side. Unclip. Now once you've got both of these sort of wings open up until the wireless charging port, we can then have a look down at this section. Now if you put a hand on both sides here and then just pull upwards, you can then unclip this whole wireless charger section, and that slips back. And then we'll just take a quick look down here and I'll just show you where to route that cable. Okay, with this wireless charger dash panel pulled back slightly, we can then run the cable properly down in behind this little trim section here and then feed through that point there. So we'll push this dash panel back in that position there, and you can see that cable is now running nicely down in behind that trim section there. Then we can feed the cable back, push it back in through underneath this trim panel as we clip it back in, and then I'll just show you at the other end how we'll finish off the cabling. Okay, then we just need to do the reverse of what we did before. So pushing that trim back in, keeping these back sections out of the way, we can then push down hard on this section to clip that back in place, and then we can start clipping this trim section back. Clip the other side all back on, but this side we're going to leave, so we clipped all this side back on. This side here we're going to leave that hanging open a little bit here. So when we tuck that cable back in behind all that trim the whole way along here, we can now feed this cable up through. Now you'll have a bit of extra length on it now, tucking it in behind that wireless charging part of the dash panel, and then feed the cable up underneath. Now just be careful you don't pinch it in this clip here. So we're going to clip, we want to sit the cable between this clip and that clip. So we can clip that back in place here, clip that one back in, and then the final one there. So you can see that cable just pokes out here nice and neatly. We can then get the USB-C and plug it into the power socket adapter there, and then that cable just sits neatly in the console, and we close it all up there. And that's a bit of a tidier install. So you can have a look here now. All you can see is just this little bit of cable running down the back there. But from the driver's point of view, looks pretty neat. Alright, so I've been using the Magbak wireless charging mount here for a week now, and look how solid that is. That 3M tape really sticks quite well. I found this mount very useful. You can also get them for the left-hand side here. You might want one for your passenger, or if you have a left-hand drive car. So I'm in Australia, I've got a right-hand drive car, and the position of it is perfect. You can see here I've thrown my MagSafe case back on. So this is MagSafe compatible. You can see it holds your phone there. This is positioned really well. Line of sight is great. It actually unlocks your phone with Face ID. So that makes it quite easy, because there are some features of using Siri where you're doing voice commands, and it requires Siri to have your phone unlocked to work. And like reading text messages from people that you didn't get to in time, you can just then get Siri to read them for you. So I found it really useful. With the phone being down out of line of sight, you can't do that. So I found, yeah, it's MagSafe compatible, but Magbak's own case is so much better. They have improved on the MagSafe system. So you'll see here, I'll just throw the Magbak case back on. So the Magbak case, you can see there, as we went through before, improves on the MagSafe system, and they give you more surface area here for the magnets, and it is just a bit more of a solid hold. So you can see there, I can wiggle that around and it's not shaking loose. It's definitely not going to come off while you're driving. So it's compatible with both, but just you're going to have a much better experience if you use the Magbak case. Now the Magbak case I've been pretty impressed with, because it just gives your phone a lot more protection. So for fall flat, it has a nice ridge there at the front for your screen, and then also the corners here, but I went through that earlier in the video. You can actually mount the phone horizontally as well, but I'd recommend doing this only when you're pulled over at the side of the road, because it does block the speed display. So with the mount here, it will unlock with Face ID. You can see here, I can just unlock my phone quite easily. Or if there are certain Siri commands, like reading text messages that sometimes you're distracted and you miss the text message and it's gone. And because you don't have Apple CarPlay in this car, the only way you can retrieve the messages is to pull over to the side of the road, grab your phone, have a look. Now with the mount here, I can just ask Siri to read the last text message that I received, and I don't need to take my eyes off the road or do anything there. So that has been a great feature. So yeah, for apps like a better route planner or Waze, it just puts your phone in a much better position there to see directions and notifications. And you can just have a quick glance here in your line of sight, and you're not taking your eyes off the road. So with the car in gear, it doesn't block any of the screen there. Now, if it was down in this position over here, you wouldn't be able to use Face ID. Now, what you can also do, which I don't recommend that you're doing while driving, but you can actually have a FaceTime call while the phone is in that position. So I feel a lot of the time, you know, I do sales trips, and I'll be visiting customers, and I'll make calls in between, and sometimes I'll need to do a FaceTime call or something there, and that's quite a good position. Even if you're pulled over at the side of the road, I think it's a great position for doing FaceTime calls. Yeah, you can see I've got a FaceTime call going here, and this image is the one looking through the camera on that phone, and it's in a perfect position for a FaceTime call. And if you are actually pulled over, you can mount the phone sideways to do a call that way if you'd like. Okay guys, so yeah, just to sum that all up, I'm pretty happy with the wireless charging mount from Magbak. I think it solved my problems, and it's exactly what I was looking for. I haven't had the phone overheat in this position. Yeah, I think it's quite good. It's got nice airflow around it there. The phone's easy to reach, and I've found it does everything that they promised. So it charges fast. I haven't had it overheat or anything. I haven't had the phone fall off the mount. It's really secure. I think it's good value for money comparing to other similar phone mounts, but this one obviously gets the phone in a better position. Now this is great for me. If you feel like this mount will work for you, or you know you like the look of it, use the link down in the description. So that will give you a 15% discount. I will also make a small amount of money from that as well. I'll get a tiny little commission from each sale, and I'm going to put that back into the channel to buy more camera gear or do trips or whatever I can put that money back into. So guys, yeah, I really appreciate you watching this, my first paid promotion video. So if you liked it, or if you got any suggestions, feel free to comment. Or if you've got any questions about the product, feel free to comment as well. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you next video.